Revelation 19. We should rejoice and should exult, and will give the glory to him, because the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. It was given to her that she should be clothed in fine linen, bright, pure, for the fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints. Blessed are those having been invited to the supper of the marriage of the Lamb. The testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. I saw heaven having been opened, and behold, a white horse, and the one sitting upon it called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he judges and makes war. And his name is called the Word of God. And the armies who were in heaven were following him upon white horses, having been clothed in fine linen, white, pure. And out of his mouth goes forth a sharp sword, so that with it he may strike down the nations. And he will shepherd them with a rod of iron, and he treads the press of the wine of the fury of the wrath of God the Almighty. And he has upon his robe and thigh a name having been written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw the beast, the kings of the earth, and their armies, having been gathered together to make war with the one sitting on the horse and with his army. And the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet, and the one having done the signs before him, by which he deceived those having received the mark of the beast, and those worshipping the image of it. The two were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone, and the rest were killed with the sword of the one sitting on the horse, having gone forth out of his mouth. And all the birds were filled with their flesh. Revelation 20. I saw an angel descending out of heaven, holding the key of the abyss, and a great chain in his hand. He seized the dragon, the ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years, and he cast him into the abyss, and shut and sealed it over him, so that he should not deceive the nations any longer, until the 1,000 years were completed. I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given to them, and the souls of those having been beheaded because of the testimony of Jesus, and because of the word of God, and those who did not worship the beast, nor the image of him, and did not take the mark upon the forehead and upon their hand. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. The rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years shall have been completed. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is the one having part in the first resurrection. Over these the second death has not power, but they will be priests of God and of Christ, and will reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years shall have been completed, Satan will be released out of his prison, and will go out to deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together unto the war, of whom their number is like the sand of the sea. And they marched up over the breadth of the earth, and encircled the camp of the saints, and the city having been beloved. But fire came down out of heaven, and devoured them, and the devil, the one deceiving them, was cast into the lake of fire, and of sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet also are, and they will be tormented day and night to the ages of the ages. And I saw a great white throne, and the one sitting on it, from whose face the earth and heaven fled, and place was not found for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the one of life. And the dead were judged out of the things having been written in the books, according to their deeds. And the sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and Hades gave up the dead who were in them, and each of them were judged according to their works. And death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. The second death is the lake of fire. And if anyone was not found having been written in the book of life, he was cast into the lake of fire. Revelation 21. I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea is not any longer. The holy city, the new Jerusalem, I saw coming down out of heaven from God, having been prepared as a bride, having been adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice from the throne saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will tabernacle with them, and they will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them as their God. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death will not be any longer, nor mourning, nor crying, nor pain. They will not be any longer, because the former things have passed away. And the one sitting on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he says, Write this, because these words are faithful and true. And he said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the one thirsting I will give of the spring of the water of life freely. The one overcoming will inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. But to the cowardly and unbelieving and having become abominable, and murderers and the sexually immoral, and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars, their portion is in the lake burning with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And one of the 7 angels came, saying, Come here, I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb. And he carried me away in the Spirit to a great and high mountain, and he showed me the holy city Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God. And they will bring the glory and the honor of the nations into it, and anything defiling shall not enter into it, and those practicing abomination and a lie, if not those having been written in the book of life of the Lamb. Revelation 22. There will not be any curse any longer. Behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me, to give to each as his work. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Blessed are those washing their robes, that will be their right to the tree of life, and they shall enter into the city by the gates. Outside are the dogs, the sorcerers, and the sexually immoral, and the murderers, and the idolaters, and everyone loving and practicing falsehood. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright morning star. The Spirit and the bride say, Come. The one desiring, let him take the water of life freely. The one testifying these things says, Yes, I am coming quickly.